Alrighty, so for you first time Design Space users or you beginner Design Space users, welcome to the crafting world first of all. I am Sierra and this is Crafting Unedited, and today I'm going to take you on a quick tour of how to use Cricut Design Space. So when you first launch your Design Space app or software in your computer, tablet, iPad, however you access it, you're going to come up with this screen. As you can see, it's going to have your home page. That's what we call that. It's going to have everything that Cricut has going on right up here in the top banner. And then next, you're going to see all of your projects. If you're fairly new or brand new, you will not have any projects just yet. If you have Cricut access, even if you don't, you'll still see this line here, this banner, that's what that's called, banner. And what this banner is it shows you all of the latest Cricut Access projects that you can have available to or access to. That just sounds silly to me. But these are all available in Cricut Access. You can tell by the little A decal right up here. All right, and then there's some ready to make projects. As you can see, some are Access, some are not. It's just a mixture of both, but most are Cricut Access only. As you can see, Cricut Access gives you a lot of good things. More, they go by materials. This is infusible ink with the maker tools. You can create cards. Most of these are for the Joy because it's a brand new accessory for Cricut. Iron on for all occasions, and that's really the gist of your home page. You have up here where you can quickly access your projects. You can see right here which machine is hooked up and which one you are selected to. Right now I have my maker selected. Over here on the left hand side you have your home tab. In the home tab it shows you your profile where you can go to view your profile, home, which will take you back to this screen here, canvas, which will take you to your canvas where you'll create your projects. You have your new machine setup, machine or tool calibration. That's where you would go in to calibrate those knife blades for your maker and things like that. You can manage your custom materials here as well. This is something new I haven't really played with very much yet, but I'm assuming that it's where you can go in and change the pressure points for some of your materials. Say if you're cutting cardstock and it's not really cutting through, and every time you're going in and changing the pressure to more pressure, this is where you can do it so that it automatically does that. You can update your firmware. I have it set up to automatically update so that I don't have to worry about that. Your account details, where you can find out if you have Cricut Access or not, or where you can sign up for Cricut Access as well. You can link cartridges. That's also for your billing details. So if you order from Cricut Shop, you can make sure that your address and everything is good there too. Link cartridges. This is for the Explore family and the older machines. This is where you would go and put those cartridges in that slot that's to the left on your machine, and you can link the cartridges there. Cricut Access is what I was showing you with all of the little green A's. Settings, general settings, user settings, however you would go about changing things around. Legal, because Cricut's got to cover their butt too. New features. This is a really cool thing because this will show you all of the new features of Design Space every single time they update it, which is quite often. Whenever there's an update, you can go right here and it'll show you exactly what to look for and to show you exactly what changed. I'm in the US, so that's what is selected here, but if you select the drop down, you can change whatever country you're in. Help. This is where you can just type in and ask for help if you need an actual Cricut person to help you out, or you can sign out. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and start on a new project. So to start a new project, you're just going to select that little guy right there. And we're not going to go too far into this because I'm just getting the basics for you beginners. So over here we have the same thing. This is where you can view all of that good stuff. If you want to add another new project, you just select this here. This is where all of your templates are going to be. You can select any of these if you are creating like an apron, some shorts. I have never really played very much with these. I think they're kind of silly, but I do like this one. This is a t-shirt mock-up, and I've used it before so that you can see your image on an actual quote-unquote t-shirt. If you're making a Cricut bag, if you want to, this is pretty neat if you want to decorate your machine. Some of these are really random, like a dishwasher and a door. Seems very silly, but that's where you would find your templates. Projects here, this is where all of the ready to make projects are. And basically you just select one, it'll pop up, it'll show you exactly what it is and what you're going to be making. And it gives you all of the fun details down here of everything you would need. The description, how long it's going to take, the level of the skill level for you. And then it tells you the finished size, it tells you materials to cut, everything else you'll need, preparation, how to cut it, how to assemble it, and more ways for help and image and fonts used in that project. And then you can either customize or make it. So up to you on how you want to do that. But this is where all the ready to make projects are. This is also where the Cricut community shares their projects. So if you go in and you save a project and you do not set it to private, it will go here. Everyone will be able to see it, which sometimes is okay, sometimes it's not. It just really depends on if you want other people to be able to create the exact same thing as you. Be very careful here, because if you go and you make something that someone else made, you could have some sticky situations on your hands, because that would be copyright, and that's just not nice. Sharing is caring, but don't go and sell it and create it as your own. Alrighty, so that's where all you find that's where you find all your projects. Next is images. This is where you can find pretty much any image you want. If you do not have Cricut Access, you will most likely be using this. Free this week. Most of all of these here are going to be Cricut Access, and you're going to have to purchase them in some sort of way. I highly recommend you getting Cricut Access, but if you don't have it, you'll go to free this week. This is where they upload all of the free images for each week. Alrighty, so text. This is where you will type in your text here. So if you select text here, it'll pop up with this little box over here. You'll type whatever text you like, and then we'll get to all this. So this is where you'll select your fonts. You can see that most of these are Cricut Access, except for some of the basic ones. If you don't have Access, then you're going to have to pay for it. If you don't have Access Premium, you're going to have to pay for ones like these. I have just the basic Access. I didn't think that I needed the premium. I get my fonts from DeFont for the most part. Alrighty, so that's how you change the font right there. Easy peasy. I don't want to change it though. So, well, then over here we have line type. This is where you'll select what type of cut you want to do. Do you want to cut, draw, score, engrave, deboss, wave, or perforate? So if you have the Explorer, you can only cut, draw, or score. None of these will be available. This is only for the maker. Your fill options are you can either print, and if you go to print, you can do things like patterns, like this. And that's where you'll use the print then cut feature. That's a whole nother video for you. All right. Next up, we have Deselect. That's where you'll unselect it or select it. You can edit it by copying and pasting. That's cut and copy. It doesn't need to be aligned because there's only one word. Arrange, flip. Flip, you can flip it backwards where it says hello, or you can flip it the other way. This is how you can make it bigger or smaller, or you can just select this little guy down here, up and down. Over here you can rotate it, meaning that if you want to spin it around, oops, or easier way of doing that, you just do this. You don't need to use the little rotate guy up here. This is where you can move it around, or you can find where it's at on the X and Y axis of the grid. There's your font, your style. You can do regular, you can do bold, you can do italic, you can do bold italic, or you can do writing. Writing is that. It just makes it thinner so that it's in the, as you saw, it changed up here to the draw. Font size, letter space, this is where you can make those letters if you do like a cursive. You can bring them together or you can separate them out more. Your line space is going to be if you have more than one word, it'll shorten the length between the two words. The alignment, you can go left, center, right. It's just like in Word or any other program. Curve, this is one that is a fun one if you're doing things for a cup and you need it to be just a little bit curved so that when you put it on the cup it goes on straight and not all bubbly. So you can make a big old curve either way, or you can leave it right in the middle. Right there. All right. This is ungroup to letters, ungroup to lines, and ungroup to layers. So ungroup to letters, what that does is it separates your letters. So if you wanted to do something fun, like making your letters uneven, just to create a little fun word here. And then once you've done that, you can select it all and reattach it down here. That way they all stick together again. Alrighty, so that covers this up here for your fonts. So we cut shapes. This is where you'll see all your fun shapes. Pretty simple, right? Upload. This is where you can upload images in these formats only. It will not accept anything else. Patterns, same thing in these formats only, not anything else. This is where you'll go in and find that pattern fill. These are all the images that I've uploaded. There's more, but we won't go there. All right, so over here, this is where you will see your project. This is what you're working on. So far, I've only got a word, so we'll go in and we'll throw in this paw print, okay? Just because it's cute. Why not? So now you can see I have a paw print. So these are all attached. You can see that right there. So it's one group. If I wanted to group it all, you could select it all here. And you can see that group became available. Now what grouping does is it makes it so that they're attached, but they're not attached. They're just grouped together so that you can move them around on the mat all at once. If you want to attach them so that when you go to cut them, you would do that down here. Now you can see where, since I made it a group, you can select the whole thing or you can select each individual one to adjust it. Duplicate or ungroup. So ungroup, you just select the group that you want and you want to ungroup there, and they are now separated again. Duplicate, it's just basically copy and paste. That's all. And then delete, same, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's delete. So if you want to see a blank canvas, it's this. I'm not entirely sure what that does. I've never really worried about that. Over here we have our layers, which is all of this. That's what Cricut calls layers. And your color sync, this is what, so if I was to have more than one color on here, which I don't at the moment, that's because I only have one image. If I had more than one image over here, it would show me all the colors that I have, and that I could just select everything, and if I wanted it all to be that same color, you would select it over here, but it's not going to work because I don't have more than one image. So, but that's how you would do it here. You would sync your colors using fewer materials to change the colors, drag and drop an object onto the layer of your desired color. It doesn't work with font. It only works with images, I guess. All right, so that is that part. Down here, and last but not least, we have contour. Contour, what that does is it allows you to hide portions of your image so that you can, I'm actually going to undo that. Wait. To show you. So what I do sometimes, say I want to have the little paws separate colors or two different colors, so you want to duplicate it, and then you want to take one and contour that one and hide everything but this. So when you do that, you can do this. Now you just got that center piece, And let's say I just want that centerpiece to be that color. Then you take this contour and you only hide this. And then you've got these paws. There you go, see? Two different colors. Kind of looks like a nose with alien eyes, but that's all good. All right, so that is how you contour. You just hide selected pieces. That way you can make two different colored objects. And then if you want to reattach it, it changes it all back to one color. So when you're ready to save, you'll just go up here to save. And then this is what I meant when I said if you want it to be public. Now, if you want it to be public and you want to share it, great. Keep this selected. Excuse me, right here. If you don't and you want it to be private, unselect it. So I'm just going to name this Design Space Tutorial. Great. And I don't want that to be public, so I'm going to leave that box unchecked. We're just going to hit save, and it's going to save it. Now, where I will find that project is I'll go over to my projects up here in the corner, and there it is right there. And you can see that I can see my fonts that I used, the paw print that I used, and I can customize it here. You can also edit your projects here where you can change this where it says visible to others. If you don't want other people to see it, you just unselect that right there. You can change the project name, you can add tags, you can add a description. This is where if I wanted to share it with others, I would create all this, but I'm not too concerned because I am not sharing it with others. So I'm just going to hit cancel for that. If you want to go back to your canvas, so you want to go back to what you were working on, you'll go up here to the left-hand corner and you'll go to canvas and voila, you're back. Ta-da! Now, if you decide halfway through your project that you want to use a different machine, you just do that right here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Also, to undo things, I think we skipped over this. Yeah, just hit these two buttons. This is undo, and this is redo. Ta-da! I think I covered it all, guys. So, oh, except for down here. I lied. I didn't cover it all. So, down here, we have slice, and what slice does is when you slice it, it just separates things again. Same thing as that contour, but it does a little differently. Let's see. I'll give you a better example of that. No, I won't because it doesn't work on that one because it's only got one color. But if you wanted to, if you have an image that has multiple colors and multiple layers and you wanted to change one specific thing in that, you would use the slicing tool. It just cuts the image in pieces. All right, so we have Weld. What Weld does is it literally welds the, not literally, because, you know, it's not literal. Anyways, it's just like welding a piece of metal to another piece of metal. It attaches it to the point where you can't separate it. So once you go to make your project and you've already started cutting, you cannot unweld it. Now, once you've welded it, you cannot do anything else but contour it. So for the sake of this video, we're going to undo what we did. It won't let me, it's being a butt. So we have to contour it. But attach, what that does, I think I already showed you, is you select it and you attach it. What Flatten does, Flatten makes it flat. So what I use Flatten for are things like print and cut and my print and cut iron-ons. You will also use this for your water slides when you learn to do those. But the Flatten is for stickers, it's for print and cut for iron-on. It just makes it flat so that when you cut, it's not going to go cutting through each and every one of these little, so it would cut the paw print out, not each individual circle. And another easy way to do that's in a sticker video that I did. You can look that up, especially if you've subscribed. Make sure that you subscribe because I'm going to do lots more of these little tutorials where instead of collaborating it all together for you, I will cover each and every aspect of Design Space individually so that you don't have to wait through the whole video for that. So guys, That is Design Space for beginners. That is really all you'll need to know to get started. Again, make sure that you subscribe so that you can see my future videos for more intermediate and advanced Design Space users. Until next time, my crafty Cricketers, we will see you later.